Hey guys, I'm Dan and welcome back to the Basement Dungeon. Yes, today I'm super excited because we are going to unbox and to review the long-awaited Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus, which Mattel has just sent us for free. Let me show you guys a quick look. So today we will take a look at the latest Jurassic Park 30th anniversary Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus sitting right here. This is a really gorgeous and magnificent figure which I can't wait to add to our collection, okay? Check this out, it looks really cool and it comes with a movable neck, okay? So what we are going to do as well is that we are going to take a look at the entire Mattel Hammond Collection figures sitting right here to do a comparison. We'll also do a comparison with these two Colossal Brachiosaurus sitting in our Monster Island room. And the other two sauropods right here, this is a repainted Super Colossal Brachiosaurus and the Apatosaurus. And at the mini shelves, we'll also take a look at the mini sauropods from Mattel as well. Let's also pick up the sauropods from Level 2 Jurassic World Midlands. We have some big ones right here and some tiny ones behind. Alright guys, we're now back at the Basement Dungeon with all the different Mattel sauropods ready for comparison, so let's begin. Alright guys, let's have a look at this box. It is massive. So this box actually comes in two orientation. You can actually look at it, from a portrait point of view vertically, and you can see beautiful illustrations of the Brachiosaurus. You can also flip it over to the other side and display it in a landscape format, and you can see this Brachiosaurus is just awesome. It has a movable neck. On the side of the box, you are able to find this really beautiful illustration right here, which is a close-up shot of the Brachiosaurus. And yeah, let's just open this up. Okay, I'm gonna open from the bottom of the box so I don't destroy it too much, because I still need to take some nice photos of the box, and I'll most likely be keeping this box as well. So let's have a look how we're gonna unbox this. Alright, you can see all the different parts right here. Okay, let's get all the parts out. This is basically the tail, a part of his tail. And this is probably the legs. Nice. And here's another piece of the leg, I suppose, which is right here, a smaller piece. And here is the head, I think. Oh, another leg. Let's get the body out. And here's the huge body. Wow, it's massive. Okay guys, check this out. All the different parts laid nicely on the table. Let's unwrap all of them. Okay guys, so we have the neck and the head right here, which looks absolutely amazing. This is the tail. Left front leg, left hind leg, and the other two. Okay, so let's start to assemble them right now. Okay, I'm gonna start by assembling the hind leg first. So let's just align this nicely, push it right in. It goes in really easily, as you guys can see. And now for the left hind leg, just pop it right in. Did I put this in the right direction? I think so. Let's have a look. Yep, I think this should be right. The front legs are definitely longer than the hind legs, that's for sure. Oh my goodness, I think this is the wrong direction. So, yep. I think this is the right one. Fortunately, we didn't snap it into that. Yeah, there you go. Nicely done. Now we'll flip it over to the other side. Right hind leg, pop it right in. Yep, this is definitely the right side, that's for sure. I have no idea why I can't seem to snap it on. Okay, let's try the other one first. There you go. You just have to align it in the right direction for you to do it. Yeah, there you go. It's easily done once you align them nicely. Okay, now let's assemble the tail. You have to align it to the front. So use a bit of force. Okay, there you go, a nice snapping sound. And now for the neck. This one is really the last part and the most beautiful part, I suppose. Yep, let's just pop it right in. There you go. Wow, this thing is just colossal. We can't even fit it into the entire video frame. So now it is ready. Let's have a close look at this. Alright guys, the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus is finally fully assembled. Let's have a close look at the face, okay? It looks really majestic, I must say. Plenty of detailing packed in just the head itself. You are able to rotate the head the entire circle. Full articulation, which is brilliant. You're able to open and close the jaw. And if you take a look at the interior of the mouth, you can find the tail is the tongue is nice. Alright guys, the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus, it's finally assembled. It is looking truly majestic. Let's have a close look at this figure, starting from the head first. So it comes with a rotatable head that you can do a full articulation. The jaw can be open and closed, which is awesome. If you take a look at the interior, you are able to find intricate detailing done on the inside of the jaw as well as on the tongue. Every single tooth is nicely painted, and what I like the most, it's basically the eyes. They are actually made of translucent material, which makes it look very realistic, and you are able to find like the little ears right here, guys. Incredible detailing on the head. Let's move on down to the neck. Alright guys, now let's take a look at the neck. From what I heard is that I know the neck can be posed into different directions. But firstly, check this out. You're able to move it up and down just like the Super Colossal Brachiosaurus. So it basically works the same way. Now let's take a look at this part right here. This is actually made of rubber material as the skin, and you are able to rotate it. I'm not too sure whether we are able to hold the neck in a rotated pose. Let's try this, but I'm also super wary because I do not want to damage the neck as well. Okay, but you can see you can actually force it backwards, but it will still spring back into its original position, and you can see a bit of skin folds right here, which makes it look pretty realistic. Alright, let's move on down to the body. So the body, more or less, I would say, look very similar to the Super Colossal Brachiosaurus. But if you move on down to the tail, there is another point of articulation right here, which was not present in the Super Colossal Brachiosaurus. Okay, you're able to move it left and right, as well as rotate this part right here. When it comes to the legs, you are able to find 1, 2, and 3 points of articulation just on the legs itself, which is a huge improvement from the Super Colossal, Brachiosaurus. Awesome stuff. This part as well. Okay, you're able to move it in this direction too, which is pretty cool. Okay, alright, what I'm going to do right now is that I'm gonna try to make the Brachiosaurus stand up. Let's try this. Alright guys, so now let's try to pose the Brachiosaurus in an upright position. I think we have managed to do it. It is not super stable because I have still yet to find a sweet spot, but I think so far it's looking pretty good. Okay, let me show you guys how it's looking right now. So it's standing up instead of on all four legs. So this could potentially save me some space. Okay, very nice. Okay, let's have another close look at this. Alright guys, check this out. It is looking very awesome. So it's basically standing on the two hind legs with the two front legs slightly lifted up, and it's looking high and tall. Of course, we are able to adjust the head to make it look upwards as if it is feeding on the tree. So yep, very awesome figure. I think this has got to be the most majestic Brachiosaurus so far. Okay, so what we are going to do next is quickly do a comparison with the Dreadnoughtus, the other two Brachiosaurus, and the Apatosaurus in our repainted Brachiosaurus. Let's do this. Okay, let's do a comparison with the very first Super Colossal. I wouldn't call it Super Colossal Brachiosaurus. It's basically the Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus. So let's do a comparison when it comes to the head. Okay, so you can see the head, it's actually very different. Alright, this is how they look side by side. The head is actually slightly smaller than the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus, but of course you are able to find this articulation on the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus, but not on the Legacy Brachiosaurus, which is a huge improvement. And of course the jaw can be opened up, and you can see the lower jaw is much bigger than the Legacy Brachiosaurus. Of course the eyes are much better as well. These are made of glass, made of clear material, and this one is basically like an opaque black. If you take a look at the body, I would say there are quite a number of similarities in terms of the height. The Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus seems to be slightly taller, and you can see the skin folds. It has a wavy and curvy manner from the left to the right, whereas for the Legacy, the skin folds basically starts from the top to the bottom. So there is a bit of difference when it comes to it, that's for sure. If you take a look at the toe claws, there is no competition. You're able to find the toe claws being painted. Of course, the Legacy one, it doesn't have any paint on it. And there's an articulation right here, guys. You're able to rotate this part, which is a huge plus. This part is basically fixed, okay? Moving on to the tail is another huge improvement. For the Legacy Collection Brachiosaurus, you're only able to move it left and right, but for this, you're able to move it up and down, left and right, and there are like additional 2 points of articulation right here, which is very awesome. When it comes to the color scheme, you are able to see the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus is slightly lighter in tone, but overall, they both features the same shade of brown. I would say very close shade of brown. But what I like the most is basically this rubber feel to the Hammond Collection figures. So this one is really awesome. Okay, let's do a quick comparison with the other one. Okay, so now let's do a comparison with the Jurassic World Dominion Brachiosaurus. Okay, so if you guys can see, this is basically using the same sculpt as the previous Brachiosaurus, okay, just with a different paint scheme. I really love this because they have actually added splashes of metallic paint right here, which makes it look very cool. And I love this contrast right here, light cream color with some dark patterns right here. So this is definitely pretty cool as well. But in terms of the sculpt, you can see it's basically the same as the previous Brachiosaurus, and the toe claws unpainted as well. The tail doesn't have the articulation of the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus. So definitely this has got to be the best Brachiosaurus figure you can find from the Jurassic World line, that's for sure. That's my personal opinion, okay? Let's do a comparison with the Dreadnoughtus. Alright guys, now let's do a comparison with the massive Dreadnoughtus, okay? So as you guys can see, in terms of the size, the Dreadnoughtus is really way bigger. It starts from here and all the way to here, guys. It's almost touching the shelf. It's a huge figure, way longer and way bigger than the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus and any of the Super Colossal dinosaurs, to be exact. So let's begin with the head. You can see the head is actually huge as compared to the Brachiosaurus. I mean, they are quite similar in terms of the size, and it also has a very huge lower jaw as well, which makes it look very cool. The eyes are nicely painted, but of course it doesn't have the translucent eyes as what you can find from the Brachiosaurus. But if you take a look at this, there is like 1, 2, and 3 points of articulation just on the neck itself, which is truly quite amazing. If you move down to the legs, you can see the legs are actually quite similar in terms of the width. The width of the legs are actually quite similar, but of course the toe claws are not painted for the Dreadnoughtus, and you can see the toe claws are actually much rounder as compared to the Brachiosaurus. Okay, moving down to the tail, you are able to move the tail left and right very easily. And there is another point. No, there is no point. Okay, you can actually rotate this part as well. So, but technically, there's not much difference if you rotate this. So, the tail is extremely long. Yeah, I definitely have some issues trying to display this figure. Okay, so that's the Dreadnoughtus for you guys. Okay, so now let's do a comparison with the Apatosaurus. Alright guys, let's have a look at this. The Apatosaurus is relatively smaller, I would say. You can see it is not as tall as the Brachiosaurus, and it's not as wide as the Brachiosaurus, that's for sure. You can't move the neck upwards, but you are able to move them left and right. The face, when it comes to the face, I think it is slightly smaller than the size of the Brachiosaurus. Perhaps slightly, it could be longer. And the lower jaw is nicely done as well. All the Super Colossals are just super well done from Mattel. In terms of the legs, you can see in terms of the width, it is slightly narrower than the Brachiosaurus. Toe claws are not painted as well. The tail, there's one articulation right here where you are able to move it left and right only. This part can be rotated. It's pretty loose for mine. And in terms of the color scheme, you can see it only has 2 tones. One is a dark green base color and some lighter shade of green as patterns on its body. Yep, overall fantastic figure as well. Okay, our last figure for comparison is basically our repainted Brachiosaurus. Okay, so this is our own custom painted Brachiosaurus. It is inspired by the level 40 Brachiosaurus from Jurassic World the game. So I actually named this I can't remember. Flame. I named this as Flame. I repainted this on my own, except for the eyes. The eyes were actually painted by Mrs. Dan. Mrs. Dan actually used some really nice acrylic paint, and you can see the eyes are actually translucent as well. Really, fantastic job from Mrs. Dan. Yep, so this is our repainted Brachiosaurus just for a quick look, side by side. Yeah. Alright guys, so what we are going to do next is to take a look at all the different sauropods from Mattel. Okay, so right here we have the Nigersaurus, which is known as the Niger lizard. This has been added to our collection recently, so I'm just gonna put this one right here. Beautiful one. It is an armored sauropod. Next up, a pretty, I would say, relatively new sauropod, Ampelosaurus, which is known as the vine lizard. It is a massive action figure. You can see it comes with a movable jaw, and you're actually able to move the tail as well. I actually love the massive action figures quite a lot because they don't produce sounds. You don't have to replace the batteries. I think that is a good thing, definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually release like an Ampelosaurus, Super Colossal figure. I think that would be pretty amazing. Okay, we also have the Amargasaurus right here, which is quite an old figure. The Amargasaurus was back in, if I'm not wrong, back in 2018, the range between 2018 to 2020. Yep, Amargasaurus, this is the dual attack, as you guys can see. Doesn't have any sounds. Very cool figure. It's known as the Amargasaurus lizard. Okay, let's move on to the smaller ones, that's for sure. Okay, I'm gonna move the scissors away. We do have another species right here, which is known as the Mussaurus. Okay, the Mussaurus are basically a smaller size of sauropods, if I'm not wrong. And of course, we have the juvenile Brachiosaurus. This is known as Firecracker from Camp Cretaceous, if I'm not wrong. Beautiful little figure. You're able to move his jaw. Beautifully done. And for the juvenile Brachiosaurus, we actually have We actually have 3 different designs. Oh, sorry, this is Firecracker. If I'm not wrong, this is basically from Jurassic World series, and this was actually from the Camp Cretaceous series. There are 2 versions. Okay, one is a green one and one is a brown one. So 3 baby Brachiosaurus. I wouldn't mind getting another, different colored scheme Brachiosaurus. I think that would be pretty cool. Okay, next up, another species. This is a Diplodocus from Mattel, minifigure from Mattel. Quite a number of years ago. Beautiful figure. This is quite rare, guys. I only have one, as you can see, and there's a bit of paint wear right here, which is quite a pity. We also have the latest Mattel Amargasaurus. Okay, this is a minifigure. We can actually. There is a new series of Mattel minifigures to be released soon. I can't wait to get them. And this is the Apatosaurus. This is from the Clash. What do I say? Clash edition, the Battle Damage edition. And here is the one with articulation. This is a fantastic minifigure. The sculpt is just brilliant. We also have 2 more right here, guys. The Brachiosaurus. Pretty awesome figure. You're able to move the neck up and down. You're able to rotate it, I think. Yep. And this is the green version. I think the green version looks way better. Alright, since now we are done with all the different sauropods, let's have a look at our Hammond collection, okay? So let's do a quick Hammond collection review. Alright, let's begin by taking a look at some of the latest Hammond collection figures first, okay? So this is the Mattel. So this one is pretty new. It was just released a couple of weeks back, probably a month or so. Okay, we also have the Irritator right here, guys. This is quite a new one. Yep, quite a new one, and it's quite hard to find as well. It's not available in my country, so I had to get it online. And Concavenator, it's basically one of the if I'm not wrong, this is actually from second wave Concavenator. Beautiful figure. I think this figure of mine, it has some issues. I'm not able to close it, guys. Yeah, I'm not able to close the jaw. I'm not too sure why. Is this a fault, or is this the same for all figures? If you guys know, let me know down below. Okay, next we have some of the herbivores as well. Parasaurolophus is actually from the very first wave. Apparently it is not the most popular one because there is still quite a fair bit of Parasaurolophus left in my local Toys R Us. And this is the Coryptosaurus right here, which is known as the helmet lizard. This is also a new release that came out together with the Mattel as well as the Irritator. Awesome figure, I love it. Okay, next let's have a look at the Ampelosaurus. It is actually from Wave 2, guys, from Wave 2. So, yep, just gonna put this right here. Alright, next up, Baryonyx from Wave 1. So this is a Wave 1 Baryonyx, that's for sure. Okay. The Dilophosaurus, if I'm not wrong, it's from does it come with the speed? Do you guys remember whether it comes with the speed? I don't think so. So Dilophosaurus, if I'm not wrong, was from Wave 2 as well. Ceratosaurus was the very first one, if I'm not wrong, the very first Hammond collection figure in my collection. So yeah, cool figure. I'll place it right here. We also have a Velociraptor from the first wave. Awesome figure as well. Here's another Velociraptor. And if I'm not wrong, this is the male raptor. Awesome figure. Comes with some feathers on top. Now we have the Triceratops. Okay, Triceratops looks really good as well. Triceratops was from the first wave. And here is the Gallimimus. Okay. And here, the Pachycephalosaurus. Stegosaurus juvenile version, very cute and adorable. I think they will be releasing a Stegosaurus really soon. Young T-Rex, that comes with the restraint and also the bandage right here. Geosternbergia, guys, this one was actually quite hard for me to find. And of course, we have two different T-Rex. This one is actually not from the Hammond Collection, it's actually from the San Diego Comic Con, but it's a pretty cool figure. We have Alan Grant and the White Velociraptor. So this is the White Velociraptor. Awesome figure. It was extremely hard for me to find, but right now they are all over the place. So I'm going to spot them quite easily right now. And this is basically the Hammond Collection T-Rex. Classic figure. One of the best, if not the best, that's for sure. Okay, so yeah, I have basically shown you guys the latest Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus. We have also done comparison with all the different sauropods. Okay, and I've also shown you guys like the entire collection of the Hammond Collection figures that I own right now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is that I'm just gonna take some nice photos, you know, for my thumbnail, and I'll show you guys where I'm placing this huge Brachiosaurus. Okay, so I'll be back. Alright guys, welcome to the Monster Island room. So just a quick update of where I am going to place my Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus. Sitting next to the Dreadnoughtus, and you can see we have two other Brachiosaurus right here. I'm not able to place them together because there's like a huge space in the middle. Yeah, I'll try to figure out, perhaps we can do it, but I'll need some time to rearrange them. Yeah, so this is basically the new home for the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus. Next to all of this Super Colossal, you have the Giga, you have the T-Rex, the Velociraptor, and of course the very new Indoraptor. Okay, yep, so this is basically a new home. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and in our next few videos there will be plenty of other new figures, lots of Mattel stuff, so stay tuned. And I'll see you guys on Thursday for the next video. Goodbye.